Hey, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining the Fireside chat this morning. My name is Simon LeGood. I'm the Senior Technical Trainer here at Skyvera. I'll be working with you guys today. We also have Sarah Hughes, who's the SVP of our North America Sales Division, on the line with us. She'll be helping out as we kind of go through all of these updates. So today we're going to be talking about the updates that are released from 54 in our 54 release. So there's a couple of new items that we wanted to share with you guys, as well as some fixes that went in for some of the things that needed to be repaired. So we're just going to kind of go through those. All lines are muted on this call. If you do have a question, please feel free to ask in the chat. We're more than happy to answer any questions. Sarah will be monitoring the chat and we'll try and get you those answers as you have those questions.
Oh, and make sure if you do have questions, you put them in the chat. So thank you.
Yep, thank you. All right, so this morning what we're going to talk about, so there's quite a few changes as well as some fixes that we're going to go over. So first and foremost is the UCD wallboard. We've added in an automatic reset function. So if you are currently using the UCD wallboards, we will talk through how that automatic reset works and what you need to do there. The contact phone number on the end user portal, we've made some changes and some updates there as well. So in the address book on the end user portal, we've added in, or are in the process of adding in, a new feature to randomize admin user passwords. This will be an opt-in type scenario we'll talk about. But instead of having the same admin username and password, we've made an update to where that can be randomly generated. We've also made some modifications to reports. So if you use the subscriber report and have that scheduled to come to you via email or anything like that, there is going to be a new field in that report. So we'll talk about that. There's also some bulk upload. There was an issue with bulk upload that's been repaired, as well as a product name fields when trying to add in new products. That's also been repaired. And then at the end of the session, we're also going to be talking about new emergency location software that will work with your Smart Office Connect client, as well as other soft phones. So quite a bit that we're going to cover today. And we will just go ahead and get into it. So first things first, we're going to talk about the UCD wallboard automatic reset. So in the past, the way that this wallboard has worked with our UCD group is that you had to go in and manually reset the analytics on a daily basis, or however frequently you wanted the information to kind of refresh or reset. So this process, it worked fine. There was no issues with it. You could go in, you could reset it whatever time you wanted to reset it. The issue became when folks would forget to reset it, or things of that nature. It was fairly common that you'd get about an hour into your shift or something like that and realize, oh, I never reset that wallboard. And then of course your statistics were slightly skewed for the rest of the day. So what we've done is we've gone in and we've added in an automatic reset. So if you go into your call answer groups and modify your UCD group, you'll see that there's now two new fields. There's a queue auto reset field. Once you enable that, you can then see the queue reset time and hours field. What this will give you the ability to do is actually set an hour based on a 24-hour clock to go in and automatically reset that wallboard so that you don't have to worry about it anymore. Couple of notes on this: it is based off of UTC time, so you'll want to figure out what hour in UTC you want this to reset, and then it only accepts the hour, so you'll enter a value of between 0 and 23 to indicate the hour that you want it to reset. So again, it is not based off of local time, it's based off of UTC, and you'll enter a value between 0 and 23 for the hour that you want it to reset. Another note, if you're working with your partners or your customers, this is something that has to currently be set in the admin portal. If you've got an admin that manages their UCD group through the end user portal, they will not see this option. This does have to be in the KBS admin portal. It will not work through the end user portal. The next one that we're going to talk about is the contact phone number in the end user portal. This is actually a pretty cool update. So in the past, the way that the address book worked in the end user portal is it would give you just some basic information. You could see the name, you could see the SIP address, and then if you actually wanted to view the information for this contact, you had to click into their address book entry, whether it's through the company directory or your personal address book. And once you clicked into it, you could see their contact information. So we've actually made some modifications there. And now when you go into the end user portal, it's going to just immediately display the contact telephone number. So we've got work, mobile, and home numbers displaying there. And what you'll also notice is when we put in this update, we also made it so that the telephone numbers were hyperlinks. So if you're using a smartphone, whether it's Smart Office Connect or any other soft phone application, you can actually just click on that telephone number and it will automatically dial for you. So that's a pretty cool update for those that are using the address book in conjunction with a soft phone application. I've gone ahead and also updated the quick reference guides for the end user portal. So if you go into the partner portal, there's a link down at the bottom of this slide. All of those slides have been updated. So if you provide that out to your clients, you can go and download those slides and get it updated for them. The next one over, so this one requires a little bit more explanation. We're going to kind of go on a journey on this one and talk through the scenario with everybody so it's pretty clear. But what we're talking about here is randomizing the admin user password. So this is talking about when you're initially creating the SMB, it automatically generates an admin account, and that admin account in the past has always had a standard password. Again, for security reasons, I'm not going to say what that password is on this call, but it was a standard password that was generated across the board. What we're saying now is there is the ability to have that password get randomly generated. So again, in the past, it was a standard password. If you want to have that password randomly generated, it is something that is possible now. So as we're kind of talking through this, a couple things to keep in mind, right? This would work moving forward. It's not going to go back and change passwords historically. So keeping in mind password strengths are very important. I took this slide from a previous webinar that we did back in May. But just keeping in mind, right, security is an incredibly important thing, and that is something as a partner you guys will want to keep in your forefront. So when you're talking about passwords with your customers, when you're considering passwords that you're going to use internally, the strength of those passwords is incredibly important. What this chart is showing you is if you're talking about a password that's just 4 numbers, right, 4 random numbers, a computer can actually go and crack that password instantly. And it doesn't really get much better until you start getting into a 10-character password that requires both letters, numbers, uppercase letters, things like that. And you'll see as you kind of go further and further down on this chart in terms of the number of characters and then the complexity of that password, once you start getting into the, 12 to 15 digit numbers that require symbols and letters and everything else, you're talking years for a computer to crack that type of a password. So I think we all kind of understand that security is very important, but sometimes a visual like this really does help kind of sell that to a partner or to an end customer. There's also a website that we've included here, ihavebeenpwned.com /passwords. This is a good place to go if you're concerned that maybe your password is a bit too generic or something like that. You can go out here and it will actually tell you whether or not your password has been seen on the dark web, right? So if somebody has compromised your password and is selling that out, you can actually go out here and see whether or not that is the case. So, just kind of moving forward with this one. So as I've kind of alluded to so far, there is functionality going in. It's coming very soon to randomize passwords. So the way this would work is you would open up or first and foremost, you talk with your sales rep, whether that's Sarah or whomever, work with your sales rep, and then they will go through the approval process. Once you've been approved, you can open up a help desk ticket or a support ticket and request that the newly created admin customers, so when you're creating new SMBs moving forward, those accounts would have a randomly generated password instead of the default password. This does get set at the partner level, so it's not a one-off situation. It would be, a partner level wide decision. And then once you've made that decision, we can go in, we can make the modifications to the configuration files. And then essentially moving forward, any new SMBs that you brought on, that generic admin account would have a randomly generated password. If that's something that interests you, definitely talk with your salesperson. They'll get you through the approval process there, and we can get you guys set up with this, with the help desk ticket to get everything taken care of. Another thing that's really important here, just while we're on the subject of security, so this is my training environment, which is why you're seeing training users and stuff like that. But it's really important, guys, to make sure that you're frequently going into account and users and just verifying who actually has access to your portal. You really want to make sure that any old employees or people that are on leave of absence, they don't have access to the system. It's incredibly important. It's super easy to go in here and make the modification. You can check the box next to the user, hit toggle status, and that'll change them from active to inactive. And then when they come back to the job, you can come back in here, check the box again and toggle status, and that'll bring them back to active. So if you want to temporarily turn someone off, you certainly can. Again, security is incredibly important. It is, on you guys to make sure that you are maintaining that security level. So just, another tip to go in and check and make sure that you have the appropriate people with access, and that anyone that does not need access has been removed from the system. The next one that we wanted to talk about is a change to the subscriber report. So if you are currently working with the subscriber details report, we have added in a new field here. I was actually pretty excited when I saw this one coming down the pipe. So what we've done is the site public number was always listed in this, but what we've also added in is the site public name. So if you're working with a customer that uses that site for outbound caller ID, the site public name and site public number to display for their outbound caller ID, you can quickly run a subscriber report and see which lines or which subscribers are using the site public name and number instead of the default subscriber name and number. So this is a really handy situation or handy report if you're not familiar with it. Having this information in here makes it much more accessible than it was previously. So now you can go in here, you can quickly run the data, you can see who's using the appropriate site public name and number, and that way, you can go in and make modifications if need be. All right, the next couple of things that we're going to talk about are a few fixes that have gone into effect. So the first one is going to be with our bulk upload of subscribers. So with I believe it was with 54.1, there was a bug that was introduced where when you're going in and provisioning or bulk uploading a list of subscribers, some partners were getting an error message that came back and said status E_SKU column not found. This error message was happening even when that column was present in the CSV file. So we've gone through, we've figured out what was causing that problem, and we've implemented a fix for that. So that should be working properly now. So if you're one of the ones that frequently uses the bulk upload feature, you do have the ability now of going in and performing that bulk upload. You shouldn't get that E_SKU column not found error any longer. Just as a shameless plug, while we're talking about the bulk upload, if you remember earlier in the year, we also added in the submit update and submit removal, as well as check update and check removal options here as well. So this bulk upload feature has expanded this year. So if you're not familiar with it, it could save you a bunch of time. Get everything updated in an Excel document or a CSV file, and you can quickly add a bunch of information or a bunch of subscribers all in one fell swoop. All right, the next fix that we're going to talk about is the product name field. And Sarah, you said you wanted to take this one?
Yeah. So if you'll go to the next slide, we uncovered, oops, I think the share's down.
Oh.
So we uncovered in the last UCAS upgrade that Google had made a change in some of their stuff. And what happens is when you go into products, you would see the listing of products and you wouldn't see a name. And if you wanted to go create a new product, the name field was, you couldn't give it a name, so you couldn't save it. And that had to do with the fact that Google had updated their browser and so on. So the workaround for that is to download Firefox if you don't already have it and use that to log into the admin portal, and then you can make those changes. I know a few of you had worked through this, and of course, I manage a lot of your catalogs and stuff like that too. So I noticed it right away. So we've implemented that fix in the United States, the USA node. It's not yet in the EMEA or the United Arab Emirates node, and so for those, you need to still use the workaround. We also noticed and have put in a change request that if you look at the, go into the dashboard and you look at your list of orders, you may not see the name there either. So we've asked them to put that fix in there too. Again, the workaround is to use Firefox as the browser that you log into the Kandy admin, and you'll be able to see it there. But again, that was due to Chrome making a change, and of course, not telling anybody. So just wanted you to know about that. That has been resolved. And of course, there's a workaround for those that are on the European node or in the Middle East. All right, so if you want to go to the next slide, have something new to share with you. This is something that we are going to be deploying probably at the end of this month, and wanted to let you know about it. So we use Intrado, and we've used, our backend was bandwidth.com for a few of our customers. And what we're doing is migrating all of this to our Intrado. And what this is a piece of software from Intrado for people to load on their computer, and particularly computers that you also have a client like our Smart Office Connect loaded on. And the benefit of this, when you use your mobile telephone to dial an emergency, and this is basically the United States and Canada only, okay? So Europe, Latin America, this isn't for that. This is just for your customers in the United States and Canada. So what happens with your mobile will actually triangulate, and they'll be able to tell where you are. But if you're using the desktop computer and you move to a Starbucks, or you move to, your nomadic, and you are traveling or something like that, and you're not in your regular location, you need to have some way to update so that the public safety answering position, they'll get the right one. And so there's a piece of software that you can load in, and it will be paired in with our location manager within our Intrado. And this is something that the user, when this is loaded in, they can set their address. And so they can change their address. It will notice that the IP address and the subnet mask are different than what you've currently got. And if you then you just, choose an existing location. You could say ignore it, whatever it is, or set your new address. And so this will be a pop-up. When you load the software on the computer, it does have, it'll detect that, hey, you're in a new location, and but you have to turn that manage my location on. And so we'll have all the instructions and that kind of stuff for that. And this is an example of the pop-up here with a different soft phone. It would be, Smart Office Connect kind of thing in this, but it's the same software. It would tell you as the user that, hey, I've detected your location has changed. So if you go to the next slide, then the user can go in and say, oh, this is a new address, and or select from a list that you've already gotten there, and they can save it. And so any 911 calls or emergency calls that are in there, it will basically tell Intrado when you update this that, hey, you're in this new location. If you don't update it or you ignore it, it's going to use the last place that you updated. And so this just keeps that database updated because this is not dynamic. What's dynamic about it is going to pop up and say, hey, there's something different. And so how do you get this? So as Kandy UCAS resellers, we have a SKU that can be added in, and we want that SKU, you can increment in the dashboard that SKU for every subscriber that's going to use this. So you're not going to go into the UCAS administration for enabling subscribers and see that it is assignable to a subscriber. It's not there. Okay, so it's not when you go into fulfillment subscriber and then on the right hand side you see that laundry list of SKUs and all. It's not going to be there. So you're going to go into the dashboard and increment the inventory once I put it in your catalog, and for each and every one equal to the number of subscribers that are going to have this on their desktop. So there's a new SKU that would be added, and then we'll get you the software and all that kind of stuff that you would have people load in. The other benefit to this is you will also, as a reseller, have kind of your own portal for Intrado with us. And so we would set that up too. So, you know, we'll know how many subscribers that you have, and we'll audit that from time to time and say, okay, you know, you need to increment the inventory here for this on there. But again, it's not going to show up on the user under fulfillment subscribers. It'll show up here. And so you can see in this screen capture of the inventory usage that, you know, we've the supply incremented is, you know, 5 in this. So how do you get this? If you want to be on the list to use this and get more information, like I said, we're in the process of deploying this now. We're setting all this up. And I think this, for those of you who already have, you know, 911 routing, that kind of stuff with, you know, your current, maybe you're doing it in your soft switch that you have today. This could be a piece of that that's augmented for that, which is not a problem. But if you're already using Intrado, not a big deal. You don't have to use this either. But this is an extra piece that can work alongside whatever you're doing for 911 routing. And you know, just email candycustomersuccess@skyvera.com. That's the new customer success email, and we'll be happy to you know, add that in for you. Okay. Any questions? Just again, send them there, or you can post them in the chat that we have for this call. Okay. You can go to the next one. We haven't had any Q&A, so we can keep going.
All right. So the last thing that we kind of wanted to talk about in the session today is just some of the upcoming events that are coming down the pipeline. So as you guys know, as platinum and gold level partners, you do need to have so many people certified with both the admin certifications as well as the support certifications. We do have a support class that's coming up November 7th through the 8th. If you're interested in registering for that, please do so ahead of time. As we gain interest in our registrations for that class, it will dictate what time zone that gets taught in. So keep in mind, we are teaching this globally. The past couple have been here US-based time, and we have not received very many registrations. So the next one will more than likely be in Europe time, or perhaps Dubai. But again, you know, if you're interested in having some people go through that support certification course, definitely register for that to let us know you're interested. Or you can reach out to me directly as well. Either one is fine. As far as these technical fireside chats, the next couple that are coming up, November 2nd, we are going to do an overview of the Skyvera products and services. So this will be in addition to the Kandy UCaaS platform, right? What other platforms and products and services are offered through Skyvera. And then after that, in December, we're going to take a look at call answer groups. We're going to go in and do a deep dive into hunt groups and UCD groups and all of those kinds of things. So we'll spend some time December 7th going through all of that information. Other than that, if there are no additional questions, you know, we certainly appreciate your time. We know it takes time out of your day to join these calls, but we really do appreciate you taking the time to go through the journey with us. And we will see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.